Hi everyone, my name's Therese again, and this week I'm going to talk to you about how to not go crazy while you're in the workers' compensation system. It's a crazy system that, for the most part, is ridiculous and doesn't work. And I have been in the system a long time. I was hurt very badly um, while on work experience when I was still at college. And so I have been in the system for 29 years this May. And that is a long time to be dealing with insurance companies and independent medical examinations and fighting with the various people who think you're a bogus person in the system, and especially the claims managers, because claims managers burn out like every 2 to 3 years, and then you'll get another one, and they will think that they're going to change the world and that you're obviously faking and need to get chucked off the system, and then they'll try to make your life a misery. And this is how to survive that sort of stuff. Like, I'm going to cut this into a series. It's not going to be like an hour long thing. I'm just going to do a bit at a time. So the first thing you need to do is find yourself a solicitor. Before you settle on a solicitor, go through your various options, Google them, have a talk with all of them, and go with your gut is the best thing. Go with your gut instinct on who you think is going to give you the best deal. Up until now, my solicitor actually burnt out. So, she was so, committed to helping people in need that she actually took on too much and just, she burnt out. That's it. So I have been trying to find another one to finish up my case. And that has been a job in itself, because they're all over. Yes, yes, everything is going fine. It's all marvelously wonderful. And then you won't hear from them for 6 months. And then you'll get a letter that says, yeah, you haven't contacted us in a while. What's going on? I'm like, you haven't contacted me. What, you're the one that's supposed to be doing the work here. And so that's your first step. Um, Actually, your first step after you're injured at work is go to the doctor. Go to the doctor and get it certified. You need it on paper. That is the very first, most important thing that you have to do, is get it on paper. Leave the work situation. Just leave right then and there. Call an ambulance. Go to the hospital emergency room. Go to your doctor if you can get an appointment. But you have to get it clarified that it happened on that day at that time, and keep a copy of everything. Get yourself a nice big file, one of those folder file things. Everything you send or you get, you have to keep a copy in that folder. Do it month by month. That's what I've done. So when they say, well, we sent it to you in June, you can go to June and you will have a copy. Or if they claim to lose it, because they will lose everything at least 2 or 3 times. And if you have a copy, then you can ask them, how many times would you like me to send it? Because that is a ploy that they do a lot, is losing stuff. So, the old way in this case is the best way. Keep paper copies of everything, every damn thing, everything. So then, the next thing after you've been to the doctor and you've had it certified and it's been noted that you have had the injury, then you need to go to your supervisor or the business owner or whoever and notify them that you've got a claim, if they don't already know and weren't on the site when you had the injury. So then they can get the ball rolling on getting you surgery, recovery time, whatever needs to be done. If that doesn't happen, then you need to get the ball rolling with a solicitor, and that's the thing that you need to do, because that needs to be taken care of straight away. Um, and from there, the next thing that you need to know is that there are going to be assessments, and these people are liars. They're all liars. I can't tell you how many times I have gone into these things, and you don't believe a word they say, because you'll get this letter, this 16-page letter that tells you, because they never give you an option of where you're going. They will just tell you the time and the date that you're going, and you're like, righto. So they'll tell you to bring all your X-rays, all your reports. Every time you've blown your nose, put it in a tissue and stick it in a bag and bring it. Do all of that. Because if you don't take it, then they will say in their report, oh, well, I couldn't do the report because they didn't bring me any X-rays or reports. Now, when you get there, they won't actually look at any of the X-rays or reports, because depending on who's paying for it will depend on what kind of report you're going to get. I'm just telling you that now to save you a lot of confusion and grief in the future. So, yes, so that is the next thing. So no matter what they tell you, don't believe a word of it, because they are professional liars. The next thing is, don't try too hard. When you go to these things, don't take your painkillers. Don't, you know, don't rest up the day before. You go out and you do as much as you possibly can. If you have to mow the lawn the day before, you're out and you mow that lawn if you are able to mow the lawn. Don't mow the lawn if you're like in a wheelchair or something. That's ridiculous. But if your normal thing is to mow the lawn, but it kills you, mow the lawn, and then don't take painkillers, and walk in there on your hand, well, crawl in there on your hands and knees, so they can see what it's like for you on a bad day. And when they're asking you to spin round on one foot with your hands in the air like a ballerina, you know, don't try too hard. That's the next thing you need to know. Don't try too hard, because the harder you try, the more that they're going to say, yeah, no, you can do that. You can go back to work. That's fine. I can sit at the moment, where with my knees are, I can sit for maybe half an hour. I have to sit for any more than that. I have to go lay on the bed for an hour before the pain goes away, because I can't have any painkillers because I'm allergic to painkillers. But I can sit and I can talk, so therefore I can go back to work because I can answer the phone. And never mind that I can only sit there for half an hour, and then because they have air conditioning on that's at 5 degrees in the summertime, I'm so crippled with arthritis from the cold, I can't actually walk while I'm in the office. And during the winter, I'm so crippled with the arthritis, I'm flat out getting to work because it's just so excruciating. All I want to do is lay in bed and cry. But because I can technically sit on my backside and answer a phone, I can go back to work, and that's all I need. And that's the sort of thing that you're going to come up against. It's going to be horrible, but please, please, please stick with it. Stick with it. If you need to get counseling during this journey, it is not going to be easy. Go and get a psychologist. Go and see a psychiatrist. Talk to your GP. Because if you are having mental hardship because of this process, that also needs to be documented for when you go to court. Because, if you're having a breakdown just existing because they are making your life such a misery, go to the doctor. Have it documented. Have somebody help you with this. Have somebody help you get through the system. Because if you just get jack of it and walk away, they've won. You are miserable and suffering for the rest of your life, and they get away with it again because they have driven you to distraction. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that. But I am saying every time you go somewhere. So if you have to go, even if you have to go downtown, so if you can walk downtown to go, or walk to the local pharmacy to get your painkillers, you are entitled to traveling. Even if it's only a kilometre, you charge them that. If you have to go to one of these ridiculous appointments for them, you are entitled to 55 cents a kilometre, or whatever my engine capacity gives me 55 cents a kilometre. But you have to check whatever your engine capacity is in your car, or if you're catching public transport, or anything like that, you get reimbursed for any money you spend to get to an appointment for them. You also, if you have to leave before breakfast, you get a meal allowance. Don't go crazy with the meal allowance. Stick to, $20 a meal, something like that. Keep it reasonable, but you are entitled to get that because you are taking a day out. If you're still able to work, but you have to take a day off, and you are like me, a casual worker, and you don't have annual leave and you can't take the day off, you don't get paid for the day off, you're entitled to those lost wages. So put in a claim. Put in a claim. Oh my goodness, that light is just a bit crazy. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Put in a claim for that. You're entitled to that. Don't lose any money because these knuckleheads are sending you across the countryside for some ridiculous thing. And also, if you are not living in a capital city, if you live in rural somewhere, they have to find you. It is reasonable to expect that you will not have to travel for some ludicrous amount of time. They have to find you somebody within a rural nearby centre to go to. So, if you live in, I don't know, well, Mildura is probably a big one because you've got South Australia quite close. But if you live, say, let's say out on the Hay Plain, you live at West Wyalong, somewhere like that, just picking a town. Wagga would be your nearest big centre, or Orange. You don't have to go to Sydney. You don't. Tell them where you are happy to go to, and tell them where, and that it's up to them if they can find you somewhere like that. If they can't, then because of your injury, then that's fine. But you don't have to go spend days traveling to get to these things. It shouldn't be more than 2 hours, and specify that. And if you can't drive that far, then they have to they have to pay for you to take a plane. They have to pay for your plane ticket. So do that. Do whichever mode of transport is easiest and most comfortable for you, and they have to pay for it. Make them reimburse you for everything. Do not let them get away with this. I don't even know if people know half the stuff that they're entitled to. If you have to take any drugs, painkillers, anything, get the doctor to write it down on your report. You are then entitled, every time you need to go and renew that script, they have to pay for it. The only thing I can take for pain is Panadol. Every time I go and get a packet of Panadol from the pharmacy, they have to pay for it. Every single one. It's, and even though it's, I don't know, $6 or something, they have to pay for it. They are responsible for this. So I'm not doing this out of pocket. So, that is another really important thing. And also the really important thing is, when you do get a case manager, write down their name, write down either their direct phone number or their extension, or a way that you can get directly through to their place where they work. And every time you speak to them, if it's not recorded, ask for it to be recorded. And if they say, oh no, we don't do that here, then write it down in a diary. You have to keep a diary. Diaries are so important because they're admissible in court. Every time you have to do something, sorry about the dogs next door. If every time you have to do something, you write it in a diary, and you keep those diaries from year to year. Every year, at the end of the year, I have to put, excuse me a second. Okay, there we go. So every time at the end of the year, when I bundle up all the stuff for that year and put it in a folder, my diary for that year goes in with it. So then I have a written record of everything I have done for those jokers all through the year. I can't tell you how important this sort of stuff is. It will make the difference between money and no money. And I can't say how much money you'll get, if you'll get any. I don't know. I don't know what your circumstances are. I don't know what your injury is. But this will go a long way towards helping your solicitor get get everything that they need in order to go forward with your case. And if you haven't heard from your solicitor within a reasonable amount of time, call them, be on their case, want to know what is going on. Don't let these people just walk all over you and then not get back to you, because your time is just as important as theirs. Yes, you have to remember you are not their only client, but at the same time, you are entitled to as much care as their other clients, and they need to keep you up to date and let you know what is going on. So that is something else that you have to remember. This is all about you. You are allowed to be selfish. You are allowed to be, a bit crazy about this. This is your life, and if you don't take this seriously and do this right, then it will ruin your life. You have to. This is serious. Some people, they get better, they go back to work, you never have another problem. That's brilliant. That is wonderful. But some people like me aren't that lucky. And my problem is that for the most part, except for two legs that don't work properly, or two knees, the legs are fine, it's the knees that don't work. I'm the biggest, healthiest thing to look at ever. But my knees don't work, and I live with ridiculous amounts of pain every day. But I am well, not an exception. There are lots of other people out there like me. But in order for you to heal as well as you can, you need to do this. You need to follow doctor's advice. You need to go to physio. You need to work as hard as they need you to work to get the best result for your injury. Some people, that's not going to be possible. Your injuries are going to be just awful. But, you can do your best. You can live your best life with what you've got. You've just got to remember that this part of it is up to you. This is only going to be as successful as you make it. So, please follow my advice as much as you can. Like I said, take notes, make a diary, write everything down, have copies of everything, and I mean everything, even your lunch receipts. Photocopy them and keep a copy. It is so, so important. I have a whole cupboard in my house that just has 30 years of workers' comp stuff in it. That's what it has. Because when my company decided to swap us all over to private enterprise, they said, "Oh, well, we don't have anything. We need all your stuff back to 2012." And I went, "Righto, no problem." And I said, "I've got it all the way back to the start, if you like. How much would you like? I can." And so then I sent it all to them. I got it all out and I sent it all to them because they wanted it electronically. And then magically they lost it all and wanted it all again. So this time I just went on that scanner and I just went absolutely crazy and I crashed their system for them. And then once I crashed it again because I said, "Oh, I wasn't sure if you got it the first time, so I thought I should send it through there again." And I crashed that sucker again. I said, how many more copies of this would you like? And they've never tried that again. But they will try it. They will do everything to get out of paying. I actually had a solicitor say once that if they paid things instead of fought things, they would spend less money just paying for it, and they spend double the amount of money fighting not to pay it. So these are the sort of knuckleheads you're going to be dealing with. Don't take it personally. It's just a system that doesn't work. But that's enough. So we've just reached 20 minutes. So that's enough of this sort of thing. I will go on next week. I'll do another one about when you've had surgery and something like that. I will do this again and give you the next round of stuff. So things to do when you're in court, things to remember, and I hope you all have a great week. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Sorry about the dogs and the light. I'll have that fixed for next time. Okay, bye.